Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Tyranny with our fate binder, Calvina. So, here we are in the game proper. Now before we press on with our affairs, just going to give you a very quick whistle-stop tour for those of you that haven't played the game before through some of the user interface, and you'll be pleased to know my mouse is now realigned. I've found a workaround to the problem. So inventory, quite straightforward, very similar to Pillars of Eternity. We have a party-wide stash, personal inventory, and you just equip stuff, and it's also a breakdown of some of the stats as well. You can have 4 characters in your party in this game. Camping supplies, just like Pillars of Eternity, and the currency is quite interesting. It's a collection of rings. We've got the copper rings, the bronze rings, and the iron rings. 100 copper make 1 bronze, 100 bronze make 1 iron. Quite an interesting monetary system. We'll read more about the rings when it comes to the lore segments. But that's the inventory screen. We have the attributes screen. It's just to give you an overview really. You can't do anything here, but we'll be keeping an eye on this as we level up. You can actually lock advancing in certain skills, and this I think prevents you from kind of becoming over leveled through leveling up skills that aren't beneficial to your character. So they're the skills that I'm going to lock for this one. This is talents. We get to pick talents every level up to help with our build. It's a classless system, but you can obviously shift your traits and your kind of your talents and your skills around to kind of form a kind of class. More about these when we actually put points into them. We have the journal, which gives us our quests. A very, very good biography, which I mean, I am going to scroll down pretty quick. If you want to pause and read, you can do, but I'm planning to read this at the very end of the game in full as an epilogue session. So, yeah, it's a very, very in-depth biography, really good. And we've got encyclopedia, including the lore sections, which is what all those orange tooltips are. They're all in here, which we'll read in due course. We have a reputation system, which is really interesting to see, how our character reputation increases or decreases depending on our interaction, so we'll see that when it happens. And this is the one that has the most interest to me as a magic user. We can create our own spells. You pick your elemental kind of, your elemental sigil. You pick your expression, whether it's touch, whether it's a ranged kind of thing, AoE. You then pick any accents, which give extra additional bonuses to the spell, and voila, you create a spell. And the best thing is, you can actually name it. How awesome is that? So we'll be wielding spells that we create, and prizes for, you know, some name suggestions in the comments to some spells that you might want to see as we get more sigils. So that's a really interesting system. Not many games I have played where you can create your own spells like this. This is really intriguing to see how this develops. And missives and something else, which we'll cover when they happen. But there you go, it's a very quick tour of the system there, of the user interface. So without further ado, let's see what Aurora wants. Kairos, the Overlord, be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side. The disfavoured warrior clasps her gauntlet to her breastplate, the traditional salute of her legion. The commander wouldn't say why the governor of Levian's Crossing would be coming, but since we have no forges here, I imagine you're here to knock some sense into the voices of the rat. I mean, mediate with the Archons so that we might agree on a plan to wipe out these Oathbreakers. Okay, so very just a quick thing here. The orange are law. The green is things that have happened in the game and that you've had an impact on. So these are quite context specific, and therefore I will look at these during the conversations. But so the governor of Lethian's Crossing, basically what that means is the disfavoured really like us because we helped them in Lethian's Crossing get the additional iron, and they see us as the governor, the honorary governor. Quite a, let's say, term of endearment almost. And the Oathbreakers she speaks of are the uprisers, the Oathbreakers. Went back on a peace and now we're at war with them. The Vendrian Guard. But on a personal note, it is good to see another harbinger. By Kairos's will, most of our old invasion force still lives, but most of us have been scattered across the tiers, reassigned as needs change. I miss those days, when there was so much battle ahead of us, so much glory still to be won. But I know the Archons are expecting you. Don't let me wax nostalgically about the old days. I'll let you read those in your own time. Calvina, getting quite to the point here, and first of all pointing out that it's quite obvious that Kairos has sealed the valley. Asking Aurora, can't she hear the magical hum in the air? Your senses see more than mine, good Fatebinder. I do not pretend to know much about such things. But if that was Kairos's magic and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be the Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy, eh? 10 years of festering plague? An edict of twisted bones? Yes, delivering the news. Our soldiers will complete their task, or die. What, the edict is levelled against us? But the Scarlet Chorus prevents us from taking action. Why would the Overlord punish both of... forgive me. It's not my place to question. We should have conquered the enemy within weeks of arriving in the valley. The delay reflects poorly on all of us. Indeed it does. Stating plainly that, two Archons and their armies cannot take a citadel they've taken before. Of course Kairos is displeased. Oh, your words sting, but they're not false. The soldiers stand ready, yet the Archons never issue the charge. If anything can force them to act, it will be the Overlord's edict. Well, you've travelled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at... Her voice falls silent, her attention snapping eastward with alarm. Did you hear that? More runners. Third time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley. But they're a bit too late for that now. Come, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. Indeed, let's. Oathbreakers. We shall deal with them as is necessary. Okay, so starting out with Searing Palm, which actually does some damage, and also damage over time as well.
Not dead yet.
And let's get our quest log on. So yeah, we dealt 16 damage. And charge fist. Okay. I mean, I don't really need the tutorials, but it's just in case anything crops up.
Yes.
A little bit later that I'm not aware of. Right, before we go running off here, I think she may have said something. There we go. Yeah, let's check further along the path. She said, let's not check further along the path, actually. Let's check behind ourselves, because on the corner of her eye, perhaps, or whilst talking with Aurora, Calvina noticed this rope dangling over. Athletics check. Even though we're not athletics focused, still managing to pass it.
That wasn't so hard.
And a bit of subterfuge helping also there as well. And here is an abandoned memorial. We can use our law to identify this as a bronze torque. And if we go to our inventory, we'll see that it gives us some vitality. Well, +1 to vitality, most useful. Can we shift click that into the stash? Indeed we can. Excellent. So we're going to stick with our Fate Binder's attire for now. It's almost like a badge of office, really. Not wanting to put on some rogue leathers, make us look like some common bandit. But if anything much more useful crops up, we'll probably put it on. The avalanche has us blocked. Think you could fit through the rubble? Well, with her slender frame, I'm sure she will be fine. Certainly not having the strength to push it, but squeezing through, not a problem. And then we find ourselves a bit too close for comfort with this guy. Maybe we can lure him to... Oh, we're kind of stuck now. Okay.
I got it.
There we go. Bit of fire. Lightning. That'll get rid of the critter for a little while. Let's then use our staff. Ooh! He's throwing stuff at us. How very rude. Come on, one more. One more. There we go. Nice. Right. Bit of frost damage for this lady. Or maybe not, as the case may be. Oh, yeah. Did we miss? Yeah, we missed. Oh, chunky fight. Good job.
Right.
Ah. Finally got there in the end, I see. Sun Soldier's Javelin. We shall take it. Don't bother with me. Go down to the pass. Drastus. Calvina spots a hint of entrails between the soldier's fingers. Stating the plainly obvious. She doesn't indeed have time for this. Go, go. Graven ashes with me. Time is of the essence. Waking Death Mushroom.
Try and catch me, worm.
A young Scarlet Fury weaves around the Vendrian Guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. So these are the elite soldiers of the Scarlet Chorus. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance to her countryman. Ah, this one's crazy. Too much lead in the water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Fate Binder. Here at last. Here to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery.
That depends. Who are you? As if we have time for a conflab. She's been attacked. We'll get to the questions later. She probably wouldn't quite say this, but certainly going to get stuck in. These are Oathbreakers. For the realm of Apex, charge! Oh, there's 3 of them. Right, okay. And we now have an additional character in our party. Say hello, everybody, to Verse. Okay, so, well, the way I'm going to try this, and it may fall down completely flat on its face, but we're playing on normal, so I'm thinking all the AIs, all the companions and the characters can be given AI scripts. So we'll stay on default for now with her, but I'm going to just leave the AI on I'm going to AI script all my companions eventually, and then just really have minimal input with them and see how they fare. Just out of interest to start with, so that I'm only focusing on my own character rather than micromanaging everybody. Just to see how that kind of pans out. We'll see. Anyway, we get a kind of a combination maneuver now, which we'll hang fire with.
Got them in my sights.
So she's hacking and slashing away. Let's give it a try while we're here. Okay, that didn't go too well. I think maybe she killed her before we got a chance to do it properly. Hey! How very dare you!
Bleed out, you little
Oh, there we go. So, job done.
I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
The fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with satisfaction.
I'm Verse, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian guard we killed didn't come alone.
She's right. Again, conversation. There's a time and place for it. Right now is not that time.
Eager. I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
Okay, indeed, practical. We like practical.
No reason to pity the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes. For the voices of Nerat!
Verse furrows her brow and focuses down on the battle to come. Right. Well, before we get to any battles, let's take a few things, shall we? Okay. So we shall give her some... Oh, she's got some stuff already. She's got Rot Spear, 2 Scarlet Poison, or Poisons. She's dual wielding some stuff, got a bow. How do we split this? No, I don't want to do that. How do we split? Oh, for God's sake, I've used one. You stupid moron. How do we split in this game? I've completely forgot how to split. Heavens help us. Oh, it's Alt. Okay, got there in the end. Right, okay, so she doesn't have a sticker helmet on her. And this armour is actually better than the armour she's got for the most part. So throw it on her. And we have a lesser sigil of reaching grasp. We have our first accent. This accent increases the range of a spell. So that's going to be helpful when we start crafting our spells. We'll do that a little bit later, but that's definitely useful. Okay, now, for the time being, we're going to have her AI on Blade Dancer. Just because we're a ranged character and we could use somebody up front. Eyes forward, no looking back. The Vendrian Guard warrior roars with his falx held high, his words largely lost over the din of combat. Stand aside, or your funeral will be over the side of the bluff. Seeing you squarely in his path, the soldier points his weapon your way. We shall give one opportunity and one opportunity only for people to surrender. They can always be put to use in the Scarlet Chorus. It's the nature of things. Not a chance. If I surrender, I'm as good as dead. At least we can drag some Kairos' chosen along our short journey to the void. As he signals his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention. Scarlet reinforcements! Hurry! Run down the Oathbreakers, let none escape! From the red mob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of the rabble, the ornamental crest of her staff pulsing with crimson tones. Signing sigils of magic, and wordlessly moving her mouth, the blood chanter scribes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian Guard, the warriors, as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Hold position, all of you! You there! Keep to the path! The warrior gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges. No! Don't engage them! We need to run! His orders falling on deaf ears, the warriors reluctantly readies his weapon. So she's got them into a bit of a bloodlust as this blood chanter, and we are ready to rock and roll. Okay, let's do this. He'll have to go down first, he's the head honcho. Okay, he's on fire, that's good, that's good. I don't think she'll use potions without being told to do so. Oh, down he goes. There we go, that's looking good. Right, let's try the combo maneuver again. Maybe not. Oh. Oh, it's going well. More fire. Come quick! We have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander. Oh, well, we better go quickly. Very quickly, just pick up some loose bits and bobs, which we'll have a look at in more detail a bit later. But for now, yes, let's just get the stuff here, and then we'll come back if we can. To explore the camp in its entirety. Stow your weapons, or we find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavoured officer at knife point. Skewer him! Worry not for me! Graven Ash will protect. The disfavoured officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his braces and cuirass. So what this basically means is that there is some kind of an aura, an aegis, that Graven Ash kind of emits, that his soldiers can withstand and endure quite heavy injuries. However, some injuries are beyond even Graven Ash's aegis, such as falling off a precipice. You heard the man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? This blade? With a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Justice's matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. Trying a little bit of diplomacy, although it's probably going to fall on deaf ears. Asking him to release the prisoner, we might spare him. And I'm sure that cell will have daily visits from Scarlet Chorus cads thirsty for a bit of torture. No, I'd rather take my chances with death. Oh, now that's unfair. I assure you it's more a hunger for torture than a thirst. But you are correct. We have no charity left for those who have laughed at our mercy once before. The blood chanter slams her staff on the ground, curling her fingers with a quivering hand. If you fools won't deal with him, maybe I will. Whatever you're thinking, don't. Not until Commander Justice is safe. Okay. Calvina's seen enough of this, trying to intervene. Tyrell dashes the blade across Justice's throat. Obviously, Calvina was a bit too slow. Blood gushes out from the commander's neck, drowning out his final words. Tyrell points the bloody knife toward you. Death to Kairos! Death to the Archons! The moment Justice's body falls to the ground, the disfavoured soldiers pounce forward, quickly reducing the Oathbreaker to a bloody mess. Justice! Justice's death will be a setback. He was a fine steward of the steadfast. But for the losses we've sustained in this war and the next in command, I will aspire to be half the leader Justice was. One of the soldiers found some mage blather on one of the Oathbreakers. She holds up a rolled sheaf of parchment. I figured you, being trained in letters, could perhaps... Okay, so she gives Calvina the papers. And, yeah, being able to read is quite rare in the north. The disfavoured soldiers know more than, or very few rather, know more than a few written words. It's also uncommon in the tiers. So us being able to read is quite the rarity. Right, so we'll examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchment explain the Vendrian Guard's desire to overthrow Kairos' Archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vendrian's Well. Okay, so alerting Aurora to exactly what this material is. Recruitment material. Pfft. There were likely other groups trying to flee the valley. But we can rest knowing we stopped this group. It's a shame it's at such a high cost. The Archons are expecting you at the disfavoured war camp. When you are ready to leave, exit by the southeast gate and keep going that way through the foothills. Well, that was a bit of drama. Was it not?
I got it.
Okay, so here we have a statue weeping blood, you'll notice. The ancient Weeping Mother statue pays homage to the Queen Lycerus, first of her name. Fresh water once flowed from this statue, but when Kairos' forces attacked Vendrian's Well in 429, the statue began weeping blood and has done so ever since. How very odd. Quite the phenomenon. Right, we have now our second sigil. Sigil of Distant Impact. Some quick finger bangles, which give extra quickness. And some other little bits. A couple of things there that interest Calvina. This for one. And these for another. Right, let's learn that as well. So two spells, or two sigils that we have picked up. So we've got a new expression. So this is more of a kind of a touchy based sigil, and this is a more ranged based sigil. And considering we really don't want to be up close and personal with the enemy where we can help it, I think this is going to be more useful to us, especially when, say, combined with fire, because that will mean that we can cast a fireball, for instance. But we'll start messing around with those a bit later. Maybe off camera I might do a couple of spells. But always looking out for names. Fireball, very dull. What should we name our first fireball spell, perhaps? Could be an interesting one. Okay. You can't climb the rope. It's a shame. So we'll explore the camp now that we've got a bit of downtime. We can talk with our companion.
Need to talk? I suppose I can give you a moment of my time. What do you need?
However, we've just met her, and we're in the middle of doing something, so we'll talk with Verse when we get that little bit of downtime. Some of these questions are also, I find, quite personal when you get into them, and we wouldn't really ask these kind of things upon first meeting somebody, so we'll kind of exhaust these in due course when the time feels right, rather than just getting it all done now. Right, so we'll have a potter around camp. Can't open that. Yeah, like the subterfuge. Not by much, though. Our subterfuge was 30, I think. 34. Oh. Only 5 away. Quite frustrating. So this torn banner bears a scratched out icon of the disfavoured. The army's original symbol has been lost to history. And Graven Ash has never ordered a replacement, preferring the blasted icon over all others. So the original symbol is underneath. It's now scratched out, and that is actually the symbol they now keep. Okay. Ooh. You have a situation here. Let's take a look. The prisoner is from the Tarkis clan. That he's not just any Oathbreaker, he's one of their leaders. No mercy for those who foment rebellion. Find a post and string him up. If his wounds don't kill him, thirst, starvation, and infection will do the rest. All must be given a chance to find absolution in services to the Scarlet Chorus. And you know full well this has always been our way. He has a chance to be a slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. I tire of this nonsense. You keep recruiting these Oathbreakers, then you fail to inflict order, and they defect, and we have to fight them all over again. I will not let another one of these South knobs come back to haunt us. Well, I insist this Oathbreaker to be taken to the voices of Narad, leaving us at an impasse. Fortunately, we have a Fatebinder here to settle the matter for us. So what say you? What should become of this prisoner? We gave him his chance to surrender. He turned it down and attacked us. Execute him. One chance to surrender is quite ample. Happily, this one will pay for justice on all my other brothers and sisters that perished here in Vendrian's Well. Aurora nods to a nearby warrior. You heard the Fatebinder. Kill him, but make an example of him. Find a post that's not in use and string him up. Aurora gives you a solemn nod. Until next time, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. No point in keeping you. For the glory of Kairos. Saluting Calvina. Okay, so this might be an opportunity to see the what do you call it system now. Okay, there we go, we got a sigil there. The reputation system, there we go. So we got a reputation system. So we got reputation with factions based on our activities, our companions, and also archons, it seems. So let's have a quick look through what's going on so far. So we can gain favour. Get enough favour, you can get bonus talents, and also wrath. Likewise, gain enough wrath, you also get certain talents. So with the Scarlet Chorus so far, no favour and a little bit of wrath. With the disfavoured, more than one level of favour given our activities so far, and a tinsy bit of wrath. And the Vendrian Guard, well, yeah, mainly wrath. With Verse, just came across her, but already got some loyalty. And the two Archons yet to meet. But Graven Ashes likes us a little bit because of the stuff that we've done so far and the Voices of the Rat. Well, we know about how our relationship's probably going to turn out. But, yeah, we'll see. Cosma. Fatebinder, what an honour to have one of Tunon's court visit our humble holdfast. Need supplies? Bursting with energy, the merchant slams her palm down on top of a crate. If so, you've come to the right place. So what will it be today? Spreading her arms out over her wares. Now, trade in this game is a rather interesting concept in that you have to have a permit to trade, and that permit will dictate exactly what you can trade. You can't trade what's not on your permit, so Kairos, generally speaking, has say on who trades what. Yeah, sticking to the role and all that. Good opportunity for us to make sure that everything here is in order, because if it's not, well, we could then confiscate it. You see, Fatebinder, I think everything's okay. I've been handed these bits of scripts, but I am not a woman of letters. Numbers are my strength, as you can well imagine. Yes. Calvina holding out an open palm, as if to say, let me see them. Certainly, good Fatebinder. She hands over the scroll case. A cursory read indicates this merchant is granted the unlimited right to trade in a logistical capacity. When not supporting an active battle, she has the right to trade grain, copper and olives anywhere in the tiers. Well, we are currently in a logistical capacity because we're in the middle of a bloody uprising, so she can trade unlimited right, so she's fine. Now, we could, actually, make up a problem and probably do some confiscating, but we're not dishonest. We do everything by the book, and so, speaking plainly, handing her papers back and telling her everything seems to be in order. Well, naturally, she winks. Just because we fight dirty doesn't mean we trade dirty. Well, most of the time at least. Indeed. Okay. Getting down to business. Asking what she's got in stock. So some weapons, some staves, some more weapons, some potions, and oh, now look at that. Lesser Sigil of Limitless Boundaries increases the area of a spell, and Lesser Sigil of Timeless Form increases duration. I think we'll take both of those, thank you very much. 5 bronze rings. You'll notice that we are distinctly lacking in the bronze rings area, so we're going to have to sell some stuff. and sell we shall. We have a garnet. We have an agate. Anything else that we don't need? Iron brand. Okay, spare parts, that's good. So we'll sell that. So we're still 220 short. 2 sets of boots. We can sell one of them. And we're now 60 rings to the good. 60 copper rings. We'll keep everything else then for now. Although Vendrian Guard equipment, out of principle, we're not going to certainly wear it, and none of our party members will be seen in Oathbreakers' bloody armour. Sell all of it. Okay, that'll do. And a falx is the weapon of choice for the Oathbreakers as well, so we'll sell that as well. Okay. Trade. So we actually come out with a little bit of a profit. And the important stuff, the sigils. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So Calvina learning yet more accents. So already we can now have a little bit of a play here with some of the spells that we can create, because we can create spells now with extra duration, extra area of effect. So if we go, say, for fire, with a fireball, but maybe give it an area of effect as well, it becomes, you know, it gets a radius in addition, so a kind of an explosive radius as well. Increase the range of it from 8 meters to, say, 10 meters. Now, the more things you add to a spell, the more lore is required to cast that spell. So that's why you need a very decent lore, so that you can start casting some of the more powerful spells. For instance, if you want to increase the range of this spell and give it an AoE effect, 65 lore required. So, yeah. As I say, going to have some fun with this system. So to finish off, we shall look around the rest of the camp, speak with these two one last time, and then we will be good to make our way towards the Archons in the next session. I think that might be everything. Okay.
I got it.
Okay, going to get a little bit of a situation report before we go any further then. Asking what Aurora can tell us about the Vendrian Guard. They are the last gasp of the younger realms. Among them are warriors that escaped the bastard city siege, a few refugees from other victories, and a bunch of Vendrian locals with delusions of independence. These southern wastrels cannot match our iron nor the chorus's numbers. What Taratus gave them the nerve to rise up and ask for a second helping of battle is anyone's guess. Okay, and what's the situation here? The Oathbreakers hold the citadel at the heart of the valley, the one built around the base of the spire. Points eastward. The Mantani River has been our largest headache during the siege. It's unsafe for armoured troops to ford, save at a key location or two, and the enemy knows this as well as we do. I know we'd be a lot farther along if the Scarlet Chorus used its alleged strength in numbers to ford the river themselves and overwhelm the enemy. She shoots a look at verse. As it is, we must take the valley slowly and advance the disfavoured bulwark, since that's where the real work gets done. Because all it takes is numbers to cross a river under a hail of arrows. If the disfavoured were quicker to act, maybe the Vendrian Guard wouldn't be so trained up to face us. If either of you were correct, the campaign would be over and I wouldn't be here. Now stop your bickering. A fair point. The Legion is eager to gain some perspective on our quarrels. Consequently, I retract my previous remark. Really? Because I don't. Next time you say something, try to mean it. Dear, she's a feisty one as this one. We'll have to keep her in line. Carry on. Have a pleasant siege. It would be much more pleasant if impending doom weren't looming over our heads. Right, I think we're done here. So, there you have it, folks. I'm going to try and keep these sessions from kind of straying over 45 minutes, if I can help it. I think 40 to 45 minutes is a nice length of a session here. So, yes, we have a new companion, we have had a few issues, and we have cast some judgments already. And we have got some spells to play with. So in the next session, we head on out to see if we can get to the Archons. Off camera, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping, and I'll maybe have a play and design a spell or two. But yeah, if you've got any idea for some potential names of spells, give me a call. Give me a shout, and I'll probably use some of them. Oh yes, one last piece of business. You end this, I beg you. Oh dear, how very grim. Now we could leave him as a warning to others, or we could end his suffering. We're not malicious, we're not sadistic. The simple fact he's hanging from a post is probably warning enough, given the vast majority of people hanging. And if anybody recognises him as a prominent member, again, that would be warning enough. Let's put him out of his misery. Calvina plunges her weapon into his heart, ending his life with one quick thrust. She turns to verse, shall we? And steps forward with purpose. Join me in the next session as we continue on towards the Archons. Until then, see you soon.